thoughts on Adrien Broner?
You know, he's a hell of a fighter, man. He 4-division champion. You know, not just anybody could do that. You know, it's not easy. We've had great fighters that can only do one division title, and they're still great. Somebody that's able to do 4 divisions is not easy, and very few can say they've done it, and he's one of them. So plus he's very talented. He's smart. He's a good counter puncher, and he's got power.
You were the guy behind actually breaking Adrien Broner's code. You and Marcos took that first loss on him. How do you actually take somebody with the ability of Mikey, who obviously has better skill than Maidana, to defeat him again?
Well, look, Broner's 2 losses are to fighters that are similar style. That just come forward and make it an ugly fight, which was Porter and Maidana. But Mikey's totally different. Mikey doesn't fight like that. Mikey's a smart counterpuncher with great power. But we don't know how Broner's going to be able to handle that. We don't know if Mikey's going to be successful doing that. But we're going to be ready to fight the way Mikey fights, and if that just doesn't work, then Mikey's going to be ready to fight similar to what Maidana did in the fight when they fight.
Broner was actually kind of like downplaying Mikey, saying that all of his victories and knockout wins were like 135 and below. For maybe he not knowing, but obviously Mikey has sparred Marcos, Brandon Rios, other fighters that are even heavier than Broner himself. Your thoughts on just Broner saying that?
Well, he does have a point, because all of Mikey's wins have been at 130, or knockouts have been at 130 under, except for 2 that he did at 135. He does make sense, but he doesn't know that Mikey. I think Mikey hits a lot harder right now at 135 and 140 than he did at 126 and 130. Because coming down to 126 and 130 was taking a lot out of Mikey. Mikey was cutting a lot of weight, and that takes your power down. Now at 135 and 140, Mikey's comfortable, and I know, because I'm working with him, and I got my sparring partners that are welterweights telling me that Mikey hits as hard as any middleweight out there. So that's that he'll see when Mikey lands.
Since Marcos beat Broner's had a lot of personal life issues. He's had some losses since then. Do you think that Mikey is getting a Broner of the same caliber that Marcos fought, or has Broner slid a little since then?
Look, we're getting ready for the best Broner out there. We already know that he's in training camp in Colorado, so he's taking it serious. He knows it's not an easy fight, and he knows it's pretty much do or die for him. So he's taking this fight very serious. So we're getting ready for the best Broner out there.
Before this fight was made, how did Broner's name come up?
They had already mentioned it to us. They had already mentioned Broner's name, but not for July. They had mentioned for maybe before the end of the year, or even next year. They had mentioned him as a future possible opponent. But when Mikey asked for the fighters that Mikey asked for, which was to unify the title 135, and neither of them were available, then Mikey asked for at 140. He said, "What's out there at 140 that's available?" So we thought about that other champion that just that beat Burns, Indongo or something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe he also has a mandatory that he has to do, or he was injured in his last fight, so that wasn't available either. And they brought Broner up, and when they brought that name up, it wasn't, Steven Espinosa has been saying it. It took 30 seconds for both guys to agree to that fight. It wasn't hard to be made. It was easy.
Are you surprised that Mikey is a 5-1 favorite? Do you feel that the fight should be a little closer?
You know what? I don't follow that, and I heard that in New York. I was a little surprised, because Broner is a solid fighter. I don't really follow the odds. I've never put money into any of my fighters or anything. So I really don't. I care less what it is, because sometimes because of his trouble, his problems that he's been going through. Maybe that's the reason. But inside the ring, I think we're gonna see a great Broner, and when Mikey beats him, that's our plan. Then I want Mikey to get the credit, for beating the best Broner, not one that was the underdog by so much.
Now, speaking of getting the credit that Mikey deserves by beating Adrien Broner, do you have any concerns that Broner will make weight at 140 pounds?
Fighting in the game, 'cause see the boxing voice.